All right. So I want to just open up here a little bit on this idea of romanticism. So like I explained before, many countries follow the European trends of major literary and artistic movements. European countries copy each other, especially copying France. A lot of these ideas, especially starting with the neoclassic era, the Age of Enlightenment, the Age of Reason, we have these, people taking ideas from other people. Ben Franklin, traveling, getting ideas, speaking to people. A lot of people traveling back and forth between Europe and the United States. And this is also happening here with Romanticism. So everyone in the New World, we say here, from Canada down to Argentina and Chile, down to the southern cone there, are copying Europe. Some people even copy others who copy others. I mean, for example, like this, Spanish would copy the French idea of Romanticism, and then that would be taken to Latin America, so they'd have these different, fuses going on here. And with the connection, there wasn't obviously internet or anything, so it had to pass through boats and all different types of communication, and so there were different phases and different levels. But what's important here is people at this point, the whole idea of Romanticism is individualism. So countries want to get their own identity. They want to establish something that's theirs. So there comes a time when, like I said, countries want to forge their own qualities. That's sometimes referred to as a national literature, because it will define them unique from other literatures of other countries. And I say literatures because one country will have different types of literature per region, or overlapping different literatures and this and that. So just to take a look at this in a context here, if a country is recently gained independence from the colonial power, they want to establish their identity in a political way. They want to establish their identity socially, economically, and obviously they want to establish their identity through their literature. So they don't want to keep copying somebody else. Now, this idea, how do you do that? You have to find something that's unique to your country. And with to show you another example, when a lot of the Latin American countries separated from Spain in the early 1800s, this coincided with this idea of Romanticism. And what happened was they have a new the idea of independence was national independence from Spain. So they have to say, oh, we don't want to copy Spain anymore, that's copying France, or we don't want to copy France directly. We need to find something that's unique to ourselves. So what was it? It was nature, okay? So this whole idea of nature was really important. The jungle, the mountains, the waterfalls, a lot of the things that Europe didn't have became part of that identity. So this is going to be happening also in the United States. So with wars, the 1812 war between USA and England, and revolutions, the American Revolution and the French Revolution in '98, people were now, we're moving out of the objectivity of the Enlightenment into a more subjective position to express and fight for this personal identity and a national identity. So this whole idea of identity is really important. So this movement of independence coincided with, or was itself, the Romantic era. So during this era of individualism and personal expression, many countries and regions developed literary characteristics unique to their identity. And as Romanticism was connected with nature, much of the identity was also connected to it. I'll explain this connection with nature a bit later on. So this is important for what we're going to talk about now. In the case of the United States, we've got the Wild West, the Deep South, the mountains of the East. This is just part of it, but these are unique to America, unique in the American landscape. So this was the backdrop of this development. So writers like Washington Irving and Cooper and Colin Bryant and Harris and Bangsthorpe were involved in this early stages of the identity forging. And we're going to go through and look at the different regions that they represented or the different ideas that they brought into this idea of forging an identity.